It is my pleasure to be joined here on the Colts Show by former Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard. Shaq, how you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Hey man, I'm blessed and highly favored as always, man. Good to see you as well.
As always, I miss hearing that. Whether you're opening your media sessions in the locker room with that or whatever it might be. What are you up to now? Like what kind of fills up your day? I know you're back in South Carolina, but what are you kind of doing right now?
Right now, besides being a husband and a father, man, I'm back at my high school, volunteering, coaching at the football with the football team, and now that the football season over, I'm the head JV basketball coach. So just trying to, just give back as much as I possibly can and see if we can, find the next one to help them on their journey and just show them the way.
Something you said was, quote, I was taught to never forget where I came from. How has that shaped you, and how has that maybe driven you in your post-playing career?
For me, man, just not forgetting where you come from, man. It just let you know that no matter what you do or who you are, you always remember your process of what you've been through to get to where get where you're at. And for me, being in Lakeview, we've always been the smallest team. Majority of the time living in poverty, stuff like that. And then me making it out. My job is to come back and give back to the town that gave me absolutely everything, and just because of my name or what I've done with my career, that doesn't make me any better than the next person beside me. So I just love being back. I love to give back to my community, give back to the kids, and just show them that there are some great athletes that's out here that got great attitudes, and you don't have to be arrogant to go out and put everything on tape, and just trying to make sure they understand the right way of doing things.
For you to be able to kind of give back to the community, do you ever think about like how impactful it is for those kids, and maybe think back to when you were a kid and thinking, man, if I had an all-pro linebacker come through, like how impactful that would be. Is that something that you think about too?
Of course, of course. I think about it all the time because my brother playing in the NFL and him having his football
Right.
camp and having guys come in and just saying that, hey, if he can do it, you guys can do it. And I just always wanted to, just live up to the expectation of being the best and just competing. And I feel like with me being an all-pro linebacker and being able to, for one, relate to these kids, they're going through a lot of things that I went through in my life. A lot of the kids are battling some battles that a lot of people don't know about. And for me, being who I am, and I tell the kids all the time, I don't want anything from you. I just want to see you succeed, and I just want you to understand that you have people who actually believe in you. So me being who I am and being able to, tell them to the kids every single day, especially the kids that don't have a lot of confidence in themselves right now, and me being, Shaq Leonard, the Maniac, NFL All-Pro linebacker, if I'm telling you that I believe in you, I think that carries a lot of weight for the kids who's battling a lot of stuff.
Is that kind of what you find really rewarding about coaching?
Yes, yes. I promise you, it's a beautiful thing for me to see it, to meet a kid where he's at or she at, and watch them grow and watch them turn into something that I've saw potential, but they didn't see it. And then once they reach that the happiness on their face, I mean, it's undescribable of the joy that it brings me to see the kids live up to their expectation or do something that they didn't know they was capable of doing.
So I know you talk about volunteering coaching football. When I looked at the roster of Lakeview High School, it's a lot of players who are like playing both sides of the ball, like kind of a smaller roster. So are you teaching guys how to punch the ball out and how to have ball security to not get the ball punched out? Like what do you sort of when you are coaching football? What sort of pointers are you giving? Tips are you lending these kids?
Basically both. I mean, if I'm on the opposite side of the ball, because I help out with the receivers as well, and my biggest thing is, 4 points of pressure, elbow lock, clash pin, eagle claw, everything. And then on the opposite side of it, when I'm coaching my defense, coaching the linebackers, I'm letting them know once they see their air pocket of when to take the punch, when not to take the punch, and just having the ball on your mind 24/7. So just trying to teach them ball security and what it means to win the turnover ratio, turnover battle, and what it means to, make sure that you're taking care of the football on the offensive side of the ball. And it's good to learn. It's good to kind of go with, what I've been taught, listening to the offensive meetings and listening to Flus talk about taking the ball away. And once you love it so much, it's so much you can understand. And once you understand it as a coach, it's easier to explain and show the kids how to do it.
I remember I talked to you for an article. This was, I mean, my first year with the Colts was 2021, the year you had 8 forced fumbles. And I remember talking to you like early in the season about like your process for getting the ball out. Everyone saw that result in your career, right? Of getting all those balls, the Maniac knockout, all that. But what was the process that you had to go through to be able to do that? In the 6 days leading up to that one moment in the game where you punch the ball and it hits the ground.
Oh man, just film study, and understanding the ball carrier and understanding the run gaps of when you're going to be able to get a punch. A lot of my punches came out of dual, more belly plays, me shooting through the A gap, and a lot of times it's me coming back in, and their eyes are more so upfield, and they never see me coming left or right or left. And then I'm able to punch through that elbow or punch through that wrist where he's having that ball security at. And I'm just making sure that I'm able to punch through his body to make sure that I can get my whole fist all the way through. And it's just more so off of film study, understanding, okay, who has really good ball security. Like Derrick Henry, I played him twice a year for about 6 years, and I never got a punch out on him. He had really good ball security. But a lot of teams that we play against, they're not taught ball security. And for me, I wasn't afraid of getting ran over. I knew I was already a smaller linebacker. I knew I wasn't going to bring a big punch in my tackle, but I was going to get you down. And a lot of times when running backs have the ball, when they go to run you over, their shoulders go forward, and that brings an air pocket with the ball and just be able to take a punch. So just trusting what you see and not being afraid to go out and make a punch for your team.
Did you something you told me too is you would get like numbers or almost like stats on like how often a ball carrier carries it in their right hand versus their left hand. It seemed like there was like to do this at a high level. The thing I want to just communicate is like it doesn't just happen, right? Like you had to do a ton of work just to get to that point.
Yes, I mean it's a lot that goes into it. I mean, we had some great guys at the coach with the analytics of letting us know what hand does he carry the ball in, and then at the time, Coach Flus every day in practice you had to take a punch at the ball over and over and over again, and so it was constantly talked about 24/7. So then, I mean, it's all just about repetition at that point. So then when you get in the game, you done practiced it. You practice that one shot a million times. So then by the time you get that opportunity, it just comes second nature to you. And it's not like you go out and say, okay, on play 2, I'm gonna punch at the ball. It's just having that confidence to say, okay, I see the ball, I see the air pocket, let's take a punch at it right here.
Do you have a favorite one of those?
Of course, rookie year against the Raiders. We going back and forth ball game. Offense just scored to give make us go up, and I think it was like 5 minutes, 48 seconds left to go in the ball game. They run, we call a blitz, kick Frisco to the defensive right. We blitzed, and it just opened up. Doug Martin had the ball in his right hand, and I come in with a tomahawk punch to try to and seal the win. And by far, that's my favorite one because of the pressure moment it was, and me being that young and actually doing that's by far one of, if not my favorite play of my career.
I see. Yeah, that's a good one because I was thinking you might say the one in 20 against Houston, kind of same thing. Pressure moment. Watson's scrambling right to the goal line. Like if you don't make that punch out, the Colts might not make the playoffs that year. Is that another one?
That one there is my favorite hustle teach tape.
Okay.
Because I feel like for me, I was over in the flat on the other side of the field. And then once the ball went, a lot of people would have just quit on that play and say, hey, let somebody else make the play. And me being who I am and being taught, hey, never watch the play, be a part of the play, being there, getting that ball out, and Lucas Oil on the 1 yard line to seal a win. Now that was a great feeling as well, too.
When you watch games, whether it's a Colts game or maybe you just see a highlight come across social media, I know like Charles Tillman was always like he would always retweet your punch outs. Like now you're kind of the next in that generation. Do you look for those? Do you seek those out? And are you almost like, are you proud? Are you, how cool is it to see other guys maybe following your lead with some of those plays now in the NFL?
Of course, man. I mean, watching football, for me is, once you see it, it makes you happy because, Charles Tillman was the first one actually, doing the punches. And then, once I came around, that's when I feel like I made it popular or made it common to actually do it. And now, sitting back watching games and seeing guys punch the ball out, especially your former teammates, that's what really makes you happy to see. And then you got guys like Fred Warner, man, who's, looks like a missile, and then all of a sudden taking a clean punch and getting the ball out. It makes me happy, and it makes me, I always shoot the guys a text if I see a punch out or something, or reach out to Fred because it's great to see the game evolving in that way and seeing guys actually truly focusing in and getting the punch out.
How have you seen the linebacker position evolve? Maybe even since like you got in the league in 2018.
It's just more playing in space. There's a lot of times there's no more, well, it's not a lot running between the tackles. It's more so the now game is more so in space. And now seeing guys truly being able to cover tight ends and be able to, drop and, cover a slot receiver. I feel like, that's what the game is really evolving to, more so a passing league. And the guys are being able to playing on all three downs in the pass game and being able to stop the run. I feel like that's a great asset to have because a lot of people only can play run downs and some people only can play passing downs. And now the evolving of linebackers, guys are running fast, they're tackling in space. And that's one of the keys right now that you see a lot of missed tackles in open space. And a really good linebackers really sit down and take a clean shot. And that's what today's linebackers are evolving, needing to do.
It feels like linebacker's the position in the NFL that's like put in conflict the most by an opposing offense, whether it's the RPO game, the play action game, kind of the rise of those two things. What do you have to be aware of as a linebacker, knowing it's a passing league, but knowing teams are going to try to attack you as a player in your position there?
Yeah, man. I feel like just off film study, you understand that for one you understand the scheme of what the opposing team is going to do. So in your mind, you go in knowing the play, but you always have to know the play and expect something else. So even if you see the run, okay, yes, I'm in my run responsibility, but I'm not getting downhill fast enough because I know if he do the RPO, I got to be here on the outside to help my guy out and make the tackle. So it's just kind of knowing and understanding and just having instincts because a lot of times you see a lot of people just, shoot downhill when the quarterback is wanting you to go downhill so you can just hit where you just left from. So it's just a lot of cat and mouse game. And once you kind of understand that, then you can kind of bait the quarterback to do what you want the quarterback to do.
So, how do you watch football these days? I know you tweet about the Colts all the time. Are you like, do you watch it as a fan? Do you still watch it as like, an NFL player who understands what it takes to get on the field? Like, how do you separate maybe the emotional aspect of watching as a fan versus the like, I know what it took for Zaire Franklin, Jermaine Pratt, these guys to get on the field on Sunday?
Well, if I'm watching the Colts, it's more so feels like I'm still in the locker room, so to speak. Because I mean, I'm
Uh-huh.
still talking to the guys 24/7. So I'm watching it and I'm still seeing it as a teammate. So I'm understanding who they are, what they do, and I just try to always come up with things to try to help them out or, shoot them a good, like, you did a good job on this. Like I'm just that friend, that brother that's always gonna be there for you no matter what. And then once I watch football outside of the Colts, it's more so, okay, let me understand the game. Let me see what other teams are doing, understand the philosophy, and then you can kind of compare and contrast of seeing what people are doing, and then it helps me understand the game. But being with Indianapolis Colts and with that locker room, I understand what Kenny is going through, Buck is going through, Q is going through. So I'm watching that more so as my brothers and everybody else. I'm watching that, just as a fan.
What have you enjoyed about watching this Colts defense this season?
For one, the excitement is back. I felt like when I was there from 2018 and 2021, we did so much different fronts, linebackers at defensive line, and we blitzing left and right. You don't know where it's going, and we causing so many turnovers. And I feel like with this coach team now, this is basically what you're seeing all over again. You got the guys in the back end that can play man to man. You got the middle guys that can do exactly line up on the line of scrimmage, and then you have the pass rushers that can actually line up in any different position. Like I saw Buck lining up 4 yards off the ball, running up. Like those are things that you have to do to kind of, quote unquote, mess with the scheme of the offensive players. And I see the guys flying around for one. That's the biggest thing. For one, they're flying around and then they're making plays and causing turnovers. And that's the biggest thing. And bend but don't break. They're getting in the red zone. They're getting stops. Make them kick field goals. That's the big thing. And that's what I'm loving to see. I'm loving how they're coming together and playing for each other.
Well, you're talking about JT there. You had a tweet the other day that was, just like how he's able to get through these tiny little holes. He gets so skinny through those holes. When you look at him, and you obviously played with him, you saw that 21 season up close. You see this one now. What makes him a special football player?
Man, for one, the way that he plays the game, there's no arrogance about it. He comes to work absolutely every day, do exactly what needs to be done. And my thing is, man, his vision is, and one thing that I've noticed this year, his patience. He's more of a patient runner now. Somewhat like a Le'Veon Bell with quite more explosiveness out of it. And I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I can remember my first time practicing against him, and I thought I had him dead center in the hole, and he went one way, I went the other way. So it's crazy to see like his quickness, his footwork, and then once he gets to the outside, his speed is very dangerous, and that's what makes him so special. Then you pair that up with the offensive line, and especially on that fourth down or third down play when you pulling Quentin Nelson out in front, you got one big scary guy that nobody wants to see, and then you got a guy that's even dangerous with the ball behind him. And there's 31 teams in the NFL that do not want to see that duo. So, and that's what makes them so special.
You're talking about JT in practice there. Like, who is the guy who, over the course of your time with the Colts, practicing against this guy, who made you better? Who would you think about as like, man, that guy was like a pain in the butt, but I got so much better practicing against that guy?
Well, besides quarterbacks, for one, I'm gonna say Andrew Luck and Phillip Rivers. With them being veterans and being able to communicate with them and understanding what they're looking at from a line for linebackers, for them for one, and then Q and Braden Smith and then Ryan Kelly. That group right there was really, really good up front. So going and competing against them was something that made me better each and every day. And just having that mindset of just competing. And I feel like when we had it in practice, it translated to the game. And I think it made me better going against all pros in practice. So in the ball game, it really just felt easy.
Did those guys, like the offensive linemen, like, you were talking about being a little undersized, but you were able to create leverage because of like your arm length, right? Did that going against those guys teach you how to create that leverage, even though you were maybe 100 pounds lighter than some of those guys?
Yes, because for me, I was a true student of the game. Like I wasn't my ego wasn't bothered for me not to go ask questions. So I go to Q and say, hey, when y'all run belly, when y'all run that dual block, I know that your guard supposed to climb up on the linebacker. What makes you climb up and what makes you don't? So then I understood that. And then when they run stretching the stretch, okay, how far do they stretch and when they're supposed to cut? So I'm always asking questions of so now I understand what's been taught in the offensive room. So then when I get in the ball game, I know, okay, if I shoot my gun right here, the ball's just gonna cut back. So now I kind of understood, okay, how to play the game, how to slow it down, and how to put myself and my teammates in position to make a play just because of how I was taught or how, Q or Philip or Andrew told me what they're looking at from a linebacker. So now I can tell the guys and we can kind of be in the right position to be able to make a play.
That's super interesting. I want to ask you about something from 2018. Zaire shared this story the week leading up to your retirement. You know what it is? You know what this one is? The Washington game. So for our listeners and viewers, Zaire was sick going into that game, and he was snoring so loud that you slept in the hotel room tub because you guys were roommates on the road. and you just want to fill everyone in. You slept in the tub, and then what'd you do the next day?
Oh man, that next day, man, it was that next day I slept in the tub. Well, from that night I slept in the tub. The very next day, we going to go playing against the Commanders, Washington Redskins at the time.
Mm.
And man, I go out there. I have 19 tackles. I get my first career sack. I get my first career forced fumble, and I have 19 tackles that ball game. And then I get my first win, NFL win, right there from sleeping in the tub.
I I think a lot of people might have the experience of sharing a hotel room with someone who's snoring really loud and going and sleeping in the tub and feeling like absolute garbage the day after. I cannot fathom doing any sort of physical activity after that. You went out and had 19 tackles. What like when you reflect on that, like I mean, like I think me listening to that, me hearing that, I'm sure people watching and listening to this are like, man, like that is one like mentally tough dude and physically tough dude. Like when you reflect on that accomplishment and the circumstances that led up to it, what maybe hits you?
That there's no matter what the world throws at you, you still got to go out and do what you're supposed to do. You have so many people counting on you to go out and do your job, and nobody cares about excuses. They just want you to go out and compete and do exactly what you're supposed to do. And you got to understand that there's a lot of people that's counting on you, and it's no pressure because you prepared for this moment, and then you just go out there and do exactly what you prepare to do.
I'm curious, Shaq, about like the end of your career. How do you think about it? How do you maybe from the end of that 21 season through the day you decided I'm done? How do you think about that?
Heartbroken. Very heartbroken. Um, Imagine just being on top of the world, doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're working extremely hard. You're taking care of your body. You're doing everything right. You're just coming off your best season ever. I think I ended all together with like 19 takeaways in
Mm-hmm.
2021. That's with forced fumbles, fumble returns, interceptions. And then all of a sudden, you go work out and you feel like you're getting better. That your body's feeling really good going back into OTAs. And the next thing you know, in OTAs, you got no power. There's no understanding of what went wrong. And then you spend 4 or 5 months trying to figure out what is going on. Then once you figure it out, you say, okay, you got to have surgery. Have the surgery. And then you can't bend, lift, twist for 6 weeks. Then you can't run until another 5 months. And it was just that constant over and over of trying to put in the work. And you just ultimately, I couldn't get back to where I was. And it was just out of my control. And that was the hardest thing for me was because I was doing everything I was supposed to do and it just got snatched away from me. And I know the big man upstairs makes, no mistakes, but you still have them thoughts like, why me? Why can't I, continue to finish my career or at least go out the way that I wanted to go out or go out on the field? And it was heartbreaking of how it went down, the bitterness, between how it went and who it went down with, man. So it was heartbreaking. But when I look back at it now, the only reason why I can live with walking away is because I knew that I gave it everything I got every time I touched that field. And then whenever I was not on the field, I was either on a treatment table or in the treatment room or in the weight room trying to do what I needed to do to get back to being me. But at the ultimate end, I couldn't get back to being me. Like right now, I can still play, in my opinion, but I could play maybe at a mid-range level. And if I cannot be the best, I can't do it. That's just me. That's the ultimate competitor in me. But it sucked for a long time. For a while, I couldn't watch
Mm-hmm.
football. And then once I started coaching back at my high school and being around the kids, they brought the joy back to me. It gave me a reason to get going. It's the first time in my life where I didn't have a reason to get up and continue to grow as a human being. But now I got these kids back at the high school and I want them to succeed so much because they're going through so much. That gives me that motivation each and every day. So you know what? I got to bring it, not for myself, but for the kids because they deserve that.
Was it almost like a grieving process for you to like grieve the end of your career? where people might ask you now, like, "Are you okay?" And it's like, you're maybe not okay. Like, when you lose a family member, it's like you're maybe not okay. You kind of are
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's grieving. Nobody tells you about that part. Everybody tell you about retiring, the NFL, and the fun part, but nobody tells you about the part when it stops. When you wake up saying, "Oh man, like golly, I wish I can still play." Of going out, putting your cleats on, putting your helmet on. Like nobody, it feels like you said, something was it's like a death. It's hard to keep moving knowing that that's what you love to do, that's what you enjoy to do, and nobody tells you about the pain that you feel when you wake up in the morning after 9 surgeries and at the age of 30. And it's a lot, but I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it all over again. And that's the beauty of the life that we live, is that you make a choice, you live with a choice, and once you get done with, having that dream or having that goal, you get an opportunity to take a seat and just look about, what you're doing or what that opportunity gave you and your family. And now I'm blessed, man. I can sit here in my home and my family's good, and it's a blessing. I'm not struggling for nothing besides the pain that I feel sometimes, with my body. But besides that, man, I'm happy. I got a beautiful family, and I'm just happy to be where my feet are right now.
How's your health right now? How's like your body feel?
There's good days,
Hmm.
and then there's
Hmm.
bad days. Cold weather hurts. Of course, in the ankle, having the three ankle surgeries there, and
Hmm.
then the back, that definitely sucks with cold weather. And then I end up having to have a hip labrum surgery. So yeah, it's good days, bad days, but I just try to keep moving and just make sure I still have my doctors in town and my PTs and making sure that I'm still taking care of the body. But it's it's banged up a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Is there anything that you find yourself like missing the most about being on a football team? I know a lot of guys talk about like they miss the locker room. Yeah.
The locker room. You miss the locker room because there's so many people that's in there are going through the same thing that you're going through. And we find a way to cope with everything that's the one inside the building and life itself. And we find a way to, have the moments where the world stops. We're in there, we playing cornhole, we're in there playing ping pong. We find out who really are there for you. Because I mean, in this world that we live in now, and if you have any type of success like I did, it's hard to find true, genuine people that's truly there for you and not what you have or what can you give to them. And being in that locker room, you have some true brothers in there, sitting in there just after a practice where everybody's tired, everybody's feeling the same thing. Like you miss those things. You miss sitting in the meetings, and I miss, just learning football. Like I still talk to Dave Berganzi all the time. Like, hey man, if we're playing cover three, like boom, boom, like I'm always trying to communicate and talk football because I love it. I love the game, and I miss the competing aspect of it. I can't compete against the high school kids, man. But I mean, every once in a while they'll call me out, and then I have to go out there and show them what it is. But you miss the competing part. I'm a competitor, no matter what it is. I just love to compete, and that's what I'm truly missing in my life right now is being able to take this energy that I have. I don't feel like I can be myself right now because I'm so used to screaming. I'm used to just letting all raw emotions leading all that, and I don't have a place right now where I can just scream and just be me. Because now as a coach, it brings that stress level of making sure that everybody else correct and it's out of your control. You're just sitting there watching. So yeah, it's tough, but I'll be good. I'll be good.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, have you had an opportunity to find an outlet for the Maniac? But it sounds like that's something that you're still kind of working through and still trying to figure out.
Yeah, man. Trying to work through it. Like I got a lot of plans of, as I'm coaching and as I'm being there. Like I just like with the basketball team now. I practice somewhat with them. I do the run and everything to kind of bring that energy and just show them what the energy really means. And I always tell them that, energy brings confidence and confidence brings execution and execution brings wins. but it all starts with good energy. So I just kind of make sure that they see me bring that energy every day and having that underdog mentality. Like I preach underdogs to them. Like, yes, we are Lakeview, but we are still always one of the smallest teams, the smallest high school. We got to play both sides of the ball. Like we gotta take that with a lot of ownership and be honorable to say, you know what, no matter what, I'm gonna run through this brick wall. I don't care who it is or what it is. I'm gonna get the job done. And I feel like that's somewhat of how that maniac persona is kind of getting out. I'm trying to make that cup overflow to fill up their cup so that they can have that swagger about themselves and have the confidence and believe that they are who they are. And once they can do that, I feel like that's any kid could be the best version of themselves if they believe in that.
I love that because like you're leaving a legacy for these kids in Lakeview. You know, if you coached them, that's your legacy. I feel like Shaq, it might not be. I got coached, by it was I had this relationship with this 4-time All-Pro linebacker. It's like, no, I got coached by, Shaq, Coach Leonard, whatever your kids call you. That's got to be a really cool thing to be able to do, to pass down and to have that legacy that you'll always be remembered by in that community.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. I mean, it's pros and cons, of course. You know, a lot of people they will say, oh, since he made it, he thinks that he's this and that. But, on the other side of it, I'm there just to be here for the kids and do absolutely what I can, for the kids. And like last year, we were playing it for the Lower State Championship. And I played against this team. I actually lost to this team in the Lower State Championship game my senior year. And I'm there just coaching out of the way, and they come on a loudspeaker and say, "Hey, Shaquille Leonard, this is for you." And it's like, it's more so as in, okay, y'all got to understand that we are Lakeview, and teams already gonna play us hard because we're Lakeview. But now y'all adding me to the staff, they're gonna want to say that they beat me, and that's gonna bring people they're gonna want to beat me just off my name. So I got to make sure that they bring it each and every day because there's everybody wants you. Everybody want to beat this team.
Do you have a favorite moment from coaching, like over the last year or so?
Yes. And yes, I do. I had a kid. I had a kid last year. We're playing against a team, and he missed two tackles at the end of the ball game, causing us to lose the ball game. And he didn't play defense for us another snap of that year. He come back his senior year of this year here, and we put him back on defense. And I looked at him. I said, "Man, look, you're gonna have an opportunity to prove yourself. They're gonna try you just because of what you put on tape last year." And first drive of the game, they run a stop on the outside, and he picks it off and go for a pick six. First time he did that. And right there, that moment for him was everything. But that moment for me to see him grow up and actually make a play where everybody thought that he couldn't, like that makes me happy. And that's why I do it because I swear, man, like I'll get the chills now, even just thinking about it. Because I mean, I just care about the kids so much. And yes, the wins and loss matters. Yes, I do believe that. All I want to do is win. But a lot of coaches forget that mentorship. We got to be mentors to the kids. We got to make sure that we understand that sometimes this sport is their only outlet. This is all that they have. And if we can make sure that they're happy while we have them, it'll make them grow 10 times more than it would them just sitting down in the classroom somewhere and just getting talked down upon. I just feel like you got to talk great to these kids, man. These kids need people that's behind them, and these kids need people that's gonna push them to be the right people, and that's my job.
Shaq, it's been awesome to hear your story. Awesome to hear how you're impacting the lives of those in Lakeview, South Carolina. I know I speak for all Colts fans that we wish you the best, and we hope to see you back up here in Indy at some point. But it's been great talking to you, man. This was awesome.
Yes, sir. Likewise, man. It's great to have you, man. Thank you.
The Colts Show is presented by Microsoft Surface Copilot Plus PC, where every day is game day. Greatness in the NFL starts long before kickoff. It's built in the quiet hours of preparation and the discipline to turn insights into action. The Indianapolis Colts rely on Microsoft Surface Copilot Plus PCs to turn preparation into performance. With real-time AI-powered insights right on the sideline, coaches and players can make smarter, faster decisions when it matters most. From the field to the front office, Microsoft Surface Copilot Plus PCs are transforming how the Indianapolis Colts prepare, strategize, and win. This isn't just about football, it's about unlocking potential wherever the game is played.